Oh, I see you there. I was just reading my feminist literature, drinking my matcha with my tote bag, listening to some Claro on my wired earphones. That's just how I be sometimes. Before we start, I need to establish, as you can see, I'm the final boss of performative males. And the problem is, a lot of performative male activities that I do, I generally have them as hobbies. And the worst thing is that I thought I came to these decisions independently. I thought I was unique. I actually dress like this. I write music. I listen to Claro. And my favorite movie is La La Land. I deserve the death sentence, bro. I've also unironically read feminist literature, but that's not fair because that was for my course. It's different. If you meet a guy that casually reads feminist literature, that's an insane man. You shouldn't be doing that for fun. That's insane. What else do I do? I've been playing ukulele since I was 15, so I was on that performative stuff since day one. Around 2018, when I first started writing music, my original inspirations were soft girl bedroom pop producers such as MXMtoon, Dodie, Claro, Bibadoobie, Cavetown, Conan Gray if you're British. I've been performative since day one, turns out. That's just my whole vibe. That just tastes like dirt. Okay, so now that we have agreed that I'm the CEO of performative males, I want to make an argument saying that being a performative male is bad. I also argue that the motivations for performative man's actions are similarly guided by the patriarchy. The sexism that forced men to hide their emotions and hit the gym is also the same force that is making them wear cardigans and drink matcha. How's that possible? Back in the day, men are expected to be macho and strong, and now there are soft and teensy-weensy people, and that's the same kind of sexism that exists? Yes. If only there was an essay about gender performativity that I've written before in the past that I could just use as a video now. Olesundria is the greatest channel in the universe, simply because this video has single-handedly helped me write 3 essays about feminism, and to be honest, I just steal all her sources. I don't really do any much further reading myself. That's because I'm academically dishonest. It's a video about choice feminism and also my favorite term in the universe, which is AP, which you might think stands for adaptive power if you have no life, but it actually stands for adaptive preference. Adaptive preference is defined as preferences formed in an unconscious response to oppression. It argues that since we live in a patriarchal society, if a woman I'm gonna kill myself. It argues that since we live in a patriarchal society, if a woman makes a choice that aligns with society's standards, there's a possibility that they might have subconsciously changed their desires to fit what is expected of them. Let's look at Spirit Blossom Ari. Is she dressed like that because she personally wants to? Or is she influenced by gooner boys that objectify women and she knows that she's being objectified, so she changed her desires so she get $400 off her skin? Adaptive preference suggests that if it is formed in an environment of oppression, it is not possible for her to do so because it shows a failure of autonomy. This is a really oversimplified definition of what adaptive preference is, and even I don't fully agree with this concept, and neither does Olesundria. She does a very good and nuanced deep dive in the topic and also provides counter arguments against adaptive preference. So go watch that video, watch it 2 times speed. Okay, but how can we apply this to men? It's a little complicated because we don't live in a society that oppresses men. And even if we apply it to the part which it does, which is toxic masculinity, it only explains why men want to adapt their preferences to do masculine stuff, like go big and get to the gym.
How many reps are you gonna do? 1 million!
For example, men might be like, oh yeah bro, I totally love going to the gym and getting big. It's totally because of myself and not because I think I can get girls like that. So, if adaptive preference leads to men acting more masculine, why is there so many femboys? Why is there so many of these performative men instead? They're soft, and they're vulnerable, and they're in touch with their feelings. They're touching feelings every time. This is where I start conjecturing. I think that there has been a social fatigue of masculine creators and influencers. The rise of Andrew Tate has been quickly shut down with the mocking of Andrew Tate as well. Sure, Andrew Tate's rise to fame is a little concerning, and it shows that toxic masculinity is still alive and well in the internet space. But the sheer amount of negative responses that he has received from everybody shows that people are getting tired of his grift. Ask any girl. The number one red flag for a guy right now is that they listen to like Joe Rogan or Andrew Tate or some other bald guy. It's always the bald people. Shout out my baldies out there. Comment your favorite bald person below. Obama does not count. He still got some follicles. So girls hate that stuff. And us guys, we're kind of stupid, so we just figured it out, and so now we gotta change our whole damn flow. And that's how you get people that 1 month ago said that women belong in the kitchen and they deserve to be conquered, and now there's like citing bell hooks or something. Those are evil people. Stay away from them. They should all burn in a pit. The problem itself isn't the activity, but it's the fakeness of it. It's the disingenuity of it. That's the problem. It's in the name, right? It's performativity, which is also a term. I'm actually gonna cite feminist literature in my video about performative males. I'm so cooked. In gender theory, performativity is not an uncommon concept to see. To gender theorists, the term performative male is redundant because of course they're performing. That's how they become male. Irving Goffman, who is just a sociologist, not a gender theorist, first brought up social interaction as a performance, right? For example, the way I interact with this camera, I adopt the identity of a YouTuber. Perhaps my persona on camera is more entertaining and more engaging. I know that you guys have to watch. I know that I need to get your attention. I'm trying to like do things, but when I interact with my parents, that won't be the same. Can you imagine if I try to interact with my parents as a YouTuber? What's up, mom? Today I'm taking $10,000 away from you. Anyways, I have different aims and goals, and my relationship with the subject is different. Therefore, my social interaction with them is different as well. So Goffman likened this idea of switching masks, which is similar to a theater performance, where you have to go backstage and change your character depending on what audience is outside. Basically, Goffman found out something that every autistic 8-year-old kid knew from day one. Oh my god, you have to be different people to other people? That's crazy, dude. Oh my god, I can't show my dick. Judith Butler, who is a gender theorist, took the idea of presentation of self and applied it to gender. She was like, yo, we just be pretending to be women and shit. It's all in the head, bro. That's basically what she said. But what does she mean by this? I was born a guy. And how am I pretending to be a guy when I'm a guy? Because in society, being a guy actually means a lot of things. Guys wear suits, they do sports, they short hair. Sure, not every guy possesses all these traits at once, but there is a societal pressure to follow a certain amount of criteria as a man. And if we fall short of these criteria, we risk getting called a slur. Basically, she's saying that being a man or a woman at its core is nothing. Gender is a stylized repetition of acts and performances through the way we move, speak, and dress. Underneath that performance, there really isn't a real gender. The gender itself is a performance. So, what we're witnessing right now is Butler's gender theories playing out in a weird Gen Z way. A bunch of men that ritualistically signal their softness to appeal to progressives or women, but put them in one League of Legends game and you'll find out who they really are. You gotta hear them say GG 5 times.
I said GG 5 times and now I'm banned from playing this stupid game.
This dissonance between the self and your presentation of self is a familiar concept, but perhaps the performative interval between the man and what he truly is deep down is just too big these days. To put it simply, a generally progressive person that is like virtue signaling on like social media is kind of annoying sometimes, but that is miles away from a person that claims to read feminist literature but still call women bitches. Now that is a dangerous man. That is a scary man. In this article by James Factora, they also make the same connection to Butler as I did, except I wrote my script 1 month before this article was released, but my work ethic is too poor, so they still beat me to the chase. They still done it. Reading this article also made me realize that everything that I say in this video is actually pretty surface level. An article goes so much more in depth than what I say in regards to heteropessimism, which is not a term that I actually know about. So you can read it if you want to. I'm not covering that because I don't know about that. So basically what I'm saying is that if you're queer, you already know everything I'm gonna say in this video. So this was for the straights, but what this article really does well is explain why performative males feel so icky. Factora explains, cis people come so close to understanding that all gender is performative, only to turn right back around and reinscribe gender norms. Hi, Editing Grant here, and look at the recording. I think I did a really poor job at explaining Factora's points. So basically in their article, they're critiquing the use of the term performative males and how the term actually seems regressive. With the internet slang for soft men being performative, there is an implication that the desirable trait, which is non-performative men, are masculine, which once again reinscribes gender norms. Yes, performative males are manipulative, but that does not mean we should turn around and embrace the default violent, explicitly misogynist version of manhood. Instead of resorting to irony and memes, we should actually look for ways to improve straight culture by accepting that all gender is performative. We're making fun of performance, but we still refuse to acknowledge that everything is performance, something that trans people have always understood for a long time. So yeah, I did say all that in recording, so sorry James. But while I agree with the overarching sentiment, I also have some slight disagreements with how to approach the performative male trend. It could likely be because I've always grown up in a relatively more progressive environment, so I rarely come across the manosphere, outwardly misogynist men. It was more common for me to come across men who utilize perceived allyship as an aesthetic, then later on spew some hateful shit when I get to know them better. As someone who loves to make edgy jokes, it concerns me to see other men say the same kind of stuff with the utmost sincerity. When I say something sexist and you say I know right, You're not supposed to agree with me in that one. We're not on the same page. Therefore, in my perspective, it seems that men that fake progressiveness are a much more insidious problem compared to traditional misogynists, as people that used to be outwardly misogynist can now switch up on their day ones and infiltrate progressive spaces while still reproducing patriarchal dynamics. Performative males adopt hybrid masculinities, where they draw from marginalized expressions such as being soft and sensitive, but they only do it as a style, as to not disrupt existing power hierarchies. While in my past readings, hybrid masculinities are presented as being created unconsciously, performative men appear to have changed their look deliberately. That way they appear progressive and liberal while not actually transformed. After all, it was the patriarchy that set you up for success. Rejecting gender norms happens all the time, but in reality, it's scary, it's messy, and it's like daunting. As a cis white straight man, it's tough for me to draw comparisons in my personal life, but even small acts as a kid, such as liking sing or liking to wear pink, was really scary because I was worried that other guys would make fun of me. And that's just the bare minimum of rejecting gender norms. That's like the smallest gender norm that I have ever rejected. Performative males want to get all the praise for rejecting gender norms, but they don't want to actually rock the boat that set them up to do so in the first place. They want to have their cake and eat it too, basically. Performative males give the illusion of change and enlightenment, but they're just as bad as the other models, cut from the same cloth as other toxic masculinity archetypes. This is wolf in sheep's clothing, except you have changed your wool to a different kind of sheep, but you're the same wolf. Okay, so it sounds like my verdict is pretty scathing towards performative men. You might think that I'm self-hating and all that stuff, but to be clear, I'm not hating men that actually read, or men that actually like matcha, or men that actually like Claro. Brother, that's me. I'm the guy. The joke of performative men can also be kind of hurtful. It could potentially drive men back to hegemonic masculinity in fear of getting called performative. Some men might think that there's no way to win, because if you present masculine, you'll be called a misogynist. But if you're too soft, you'll be called fake. But at the same time, isn't that the bed we made in the first place? When a certain archetype of men is so prevalent in manipulating women and lying just to get laid, that should be criticized. So, after writing the script, it did leave me wondering, what is more harmful to us? The actual performative male that is faking his hobbies just to get laid, or the culture of calling any man that has a soft side performative? Personally, I don't know. I think only time will tell, and I definitely cannot make a fair assessment because I'm who I am. I have so many overlaps with a performative male, and obviously I don't want to be a red flag to other women. Even this video could be seen as performative because I'm pretending to hate on performative males so I can seem more progressive, but secretly I'm sexist and racist, and that's only half true. This is getting too meta for me. I don't like it. So really, I don't have an answer for you. Performative males suck because it makes it difficult for the rest of us men. We can't enjoy anything without the fear of what that hobby implies. Back in 2018, when I first listened to Pretty Girl by Claro, I would never think that that would be a marker for a manipulative man in 2025, which is crazy because I don't even think that song's any good. And at a surface level, we could wave our fist at women for making assumptions about us just because we like something, but let's remind ourselves who broke that trust in the first place.
I think we could do it if we tried. For me to say you're mine, Sophia, know that you and I shouldn't feel like a crime. I think we could do it if we try. For me to say you're mine, Sophia, know that you and I shouldn't feel like a crime.